Hello folks, Daryl here again with more Mandela Effect Earth Changes for you. Okay, we're going to check in on our land bridges. For sure, some of them. As you know, this is going to be a little bit of a repeat-ish for some of the older subs, but we have a lot. There's like probably 100 new subs in the last week or so, so all of this should be new to you, but as some of the older ones know, I've been kind of predicting some land bridges and then monitoring the progress on them. And with our marathon of country name changes or not, and I haven't really been watching these guys over here, but I just checked in on them and they're making really good progress since, I think it's been probably 10 days or 2 weeks since I updated the progress. So the main ones we've been watching in the northern hemisphere is this one from Alaska to Russia. This is Russia down here. The other land bridge too is this one from Japan to Russia. And all these are Russian islands. They're somehow, like this is all Japan that goes up through here. All this, like this whole area now. Remember how tiny Japan was? Any of you? It was a little island out here, but now all of this area is Japan. And we've been watching this land bridge form since it was just little dots. I'm not sure if there was anything there when I first called it. There wasn't much, but we'll zoom down and check out some of those so that I can go through this video and the previous one, and then I'm pretty sure we should be able to come up with a really cool before and after one. But anyone that's been doing your own looking around, like Alaska is just crazy changed. It used to kind of come out sort of more like this. All this is new, but phenomenal changes all the way along Alaska. I've been watching, I thought maybe it was going to connect through here, and it still may. I can't really make a call though, because the info I use reading the ocean floor, it tells me where they're going to come up. There's not enough difference in anything. They're basically this whole area is at the level where something could pop up at any time. But I'm getting distracted here. We came for our land bridge. So as you know, like Alaska used to have a little bit of stuff coming off the bottom of it here, but nothing at all like it does now. You see this ridge in the ocean floor here, where it's all developing along here. So I just want to make sure I zoom in tight enough on most of this that we can pick up changes that have occurred since the last time we were here. As you know, these things, for the viewers that have been with us for a while, these are probably the outlines of the new coast that's going to be. A lot of this will all fill in with new land. Okay, gotta bear with me while I pan through these areas just so we can get our records here. A lot of this stuff too, as I get time to process it, I get it posted into the blog under its appropriate country. So there's all kinds of places where we'll see new islands come, and we'll see these blue areas around islands get filled in with land. These, as you know, a lot of them pop up fairly densely populated already. Some of them are crazy populated, like just jammed with people. This here piece that developed off the bottom of Russia, when we first started looking at it, it didn't even have mountain ranges or anything on it. And it's grown a couple since we first picked it up. Now our land bridge from Japan to Russia, this is probably the one that'll give us the coolest before and after video for sometime, hopefully before the weekend or on the weekend. But when we first started monitoring this thing, there was a little island here, a little island here, a little island here. They were all just little dots. And then they connected into kind of a long island and a long island and a dot. And then those connected. So we've had the good fortune of watching many of these grow from absolutely nothing into amazing islands. See, this is stuff that is all under transformation. When you keep zooming in on it, what we've been finding, instead of the typical Google Earth grainy effect, it'll just kind of go fuzzy if it's land that's under construction, which seems to be the case with this whole end of that island. Got this suspicious little reachy thingies going out. Oh, this one's really changed a lot. Wow. I was trying to find one. There was, when we first started recording these, me and the missus were looking the night before, and we knew where there was a couple of dots, islands, and then they were connected in the morning just with a real thin little flat shelf of land. It kind of, hate to use the word, but it sort of looked fake-ish. Kind of like this. Actually, this was it. But when we looked at it the next morning and this land had appeared to connect them there was none of the streams, like all the erosion, and now there's snow on it. That wasn't there. Like that's why it looked fake. It just looked like it had been pulled up out of the water. Nice steep banks on both sides and real flat on the top, nothing on it. Now it's kind of developing nicely. I couldn't tell you for sure, but this mud bubble thing looks familiar, and I think it was more just back here. It may have grown down this way. That'd be interesting to see on that one. This one here is definitely still under transformation. This indoor lakey thing here. Sometimes once it's settled the way that whoever's doing this likes it, this thing here will close off too. And then you got, I don't know, it'd be interesting to see if those turn into freshwater things or remain little inland seas. Honestly, I can't remember off the top of my head if this guy is new, but he sure shows a lot of signs of what is typical of the new islands, just the way the beach is cut with the same kind of uniformity that's somewhat unnatural. And then they do eventually erode so that they look proper, but the original design looks pretty goofy on some of these things, really. But like I said, I'll have to double check with the previous video to see what is new here for sure. See here again. This is kind of what I was talking about, that almost fake look where it's just a really, really flat plateau and not too much detail. That's how that little connector piece looks quite often before it does the erosion thing and grows trees and whatnot. But you guys, so it's fascinating to just see, look at the difference in the coloration, the shape of the land, everything. Phenomenal. This stuff, I really do. I spend more hours in here than most of you spend at your day jobs, because it's so dang fascinating. You can't get away from it once you get going. Hey, looky here. There's probably no indicators there. Maybe here. These guys still underwater? I believe they are. Showing 0 meters. 0 meters. -1 out here. Yeah, this is going to be an island that's just coming through right here. And -1, 0, -3, 4. This is going to turn bigger too, for sure. By the time we see in there again is that instead of going grainy like Google does, it just fuzzes out on you. Because it's under construction. And these places that are all named under here, I know they're pretty deep yet, 30, 50, 60 meters, but really, really good chance those are gonna pop through the surface too. Hey, here's another one of them little streaky connector things. Trippy. Yeah, this one's eroded and looking pretty natural though, but you can... What happened here was there was this island and there was this island, and then this piece here, in the one we witnessed, it came up overnight, literally. Really cool. Oh, look at this one. I remember this guy. Check this place out. Isn't this funky? You got your mountaintop thing with the basin in the middle and then another little mountaintop sticking through. It's just gorgeous. Oh, we're already at 11 minutes, but I was going to drop in for a street view off the tip of that mountain, but you guys can come back and do that yourself. That would be interesting. And this here up here will be the tip of Russia that we're shooting for. And yeah, see, for any of our newer viewers, this kind of stuff going on here, don't know what you haven't picked a name for it or whatever, and this muddy kind of look from this certain levels, like I realize it, there's different things, you see different things at different levels, but I'm learning how to look at different stuff at different levels, and the colors the water and the land give you seem to indicate major changes, and when we come back to see, that indeed proves to be the case over and over again. See, all this is, you can tell, it's newly forming land. We'll come back, I don't know, days, weeks from now, and there'll be full-blown thick forests and hills and everything on this little peninsula here. Same thing, actually, I noticed one right here, just to the left in Japan. I've been watching this close enough that I can say with probably 80% certainty this tip ended down here a couple weeks ago, and this whole area here is new. And again, when you come down and have a closer look, so you can't let, if it does happen to have population and stuff on it, you can't let that fool you, because that's how they come. We've watched them coming while they were still under the water with buildings, airports, you name it. So if you want to keep an eye on stuff where you'll probably get to see a lot of development in a really short time, I would have to suggest that this peninsula here is probably going to be one of your better bets. And here again, this color of water that's completely cut off from the seawater, that usually indicates a lot of change coming too, like your shoreline's going to cut. Probably a lot of these places, this water may actually start cutting up in there instead of coming from here to create this lake. It's almost like the process goes backwards in so many cases. These dark black pools too, those are changer basins. I don't know what we'll call this stuff, but where those show up, big changes happen. See, there was that, I don't know, you guys see it? I haven't, well, maybe it is, but if someone at the time wanted to follow it through, I don't think you're going to find that these poor souls down at this end here are actually connected to anything yet. See, it looks like maybe a road there, but I don't know. It doesn't look like it at places too. Let's follow it, see if it seems to go. Maybe they are, but really, isn't that kind of a bizarre layout? Look how far down here they are, and you got to go a long, long ways. I bet you you probably won't find another settlement till maybe over here. See, to me, that's one of the ways the guy doing this gives you clues that it's him, is just by doing stuff too wrong for it to be natural. You know what I mean? Like development. Why would you run all that road, those hundreds of miles or whatever that is, that you're now going to have to maintain to support those 6 people in that village and nothing in between anywhere? Like, there could be some reason, obviously. Maybe it's a fishing village. Maybe, like, there are reasons, but I myself am not a big believer in coincidence, and we're just finding too many coincidences that can't be answered right. Like, why all these patches of water show up, and this is all over the place. Every continent you go to, you'll see these thin little half-mile to mile-wide strips of shoreline, and quite often with people on them, and then behind it all this water will fill in. This thing here is probably going to be water right over to here, I bet you. Probably right, yeah, see, it's going to start from this end too and join it. We'll see, could be wrong, could be right, but I think we'll finish with a little bit of crystal ball action here for you. Try and predict some more islands for you where they're going to appear where there really isn't a lot of sign other than what I'm kind of learning to look for. But I've pinned a couple of them here, and I wish I would have been watching this area closer, but I'm kind of wanting to believe that this was a separate island from this guy here not too recently, but I can't make myself believe it just because of the population in here. Like, it's crazy. But that, as you know, for the viewers that have been following along, that doesn't mean nothing. This could all be new and be real too. Like, the number of people showing up in places where they weren't is crazy. But I got sidetracked here. We're coming to check some new island spots here. And I'm a little bit late to catch it in the absolutely nothing stage, because this one here is through a little bit, 6 to 10 meters. So that's already there, but it will grow too. We got a lot of space around it where the depth of water is only feet now instead of meters. Yeah, so those ones are gonna probably end up about as big as these circles are here. And I missed the ridge with the pin here, but I'm pretty sure. Where did that go? I can't find the little plateau now. Might have been this one, the 40-meter one. What I'm finding is the stuff moves kind of slow a lot of times till it gets to about 100 meters, and then if it's going to do something, it'll rip from there to 50, 40 fairly quickly. But if things go the way that they've typically been going, I think I can fairly confidently... Oh, here's one. This is the one where I didn't miss the thing. Yeah, we're down to like 8 meters, 10 single digits on this guy here, and there's nothing showing. It's all just stuff on the ocean floor, but it's been moving quick enough lately that I think you're going to see an island. It'll show up first, like this stuff. Something will break the surface. Not necessarily these rocks. A lot of times there'll be a finger of sandbar that it'll start with. Dang, I know I had a spot picked here. I'm going to have to find it again, but you're going to see an island pop in here too. And believe it or not, let me see what I was telling you about getting the layering, get the right zoom level. There we go. And all along this area here, not so much down at this end, they're still pretty deep, but they're into the 100 and some meter range. But more so up this way, there's some that are getting down to the 30 to 40 meter depth there. So I think you're going to see a little string of little islands all pop up along here sometime in the next few weeks, for sure. So it'll be fun, and that's the thing. I don't mind being wrong either. I'm just learning this stuff as I go. I think it's about 3 weeks now we've been doing this, and myself, I think we've already accomplished so much more than I ever hoped to when I started out. But I really do hope to develop a little community of us that are curious enough to, with what's going on with our home, to help me keep an eye on some of this and get some questions answered. But I'll try and close here real quick. Another one of the reasons I'm kind of fascinated with the new islands coming through is because we're going to pick one or two or a few, whatever, that we can see coming under the water with population. And as soon as we can, once they break the surface and we can get some phone numbers once there's a name to the place, we'll get some numbers and we'll do some kind of documentary type videos or whatever, where we'll get on the horn to people over there, talk to the lady at the post office and the guy at the pub, and just pick their brains, find out what their realities are and stuff. Because to me it seems like if we're going to get any answers to what's going on, that seems like one damn good place to start, when we know that they weren't there last week. And we'll find out if they know that or not. I bet you not. We'll find out they've been there their whole lives and things or whatever. Maybe they moved there. I don't know. We're going to get pieces to the puzzle, though. I think it'll get real interesting anyways. So, stay tuned and have a great day.